Palate to Palate with Robert St. John and Wyatt Waters is made possible by a generous contribution from the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation. Additional funding is provided by this and other public television stations and from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hattiesburg, my hometown. 55 years I've spent in that place, and I got to tell you what, I never knew there was such thing as a blueberry picking machine. Man, I got up there, I felt like Leo DiCaprio in King of the World in a blueberry field.
It's pretty cool.
Outside of Hattiesburg. And you painted my church.
Yes, I did. It's a beautiful place.
Oh, it's a beautiful painting. You know, there are probably more people in Wisconsin that know Brett Favre lives in Hattiesburg than there are Hattiesburgers who know Brett Favre lives in Hattiesburg. He's a very low-key guy. We were lucky enough to have him come join us for dinner.
He can eat too, man. He can really eat.
We did a progressive dinner at all of my restaurants, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy to do this. He ate me under the table. It's not easy to do.
The photo we had, I felt like they were getting ready to determine the sex of the baby. I'd eaten so much.
So we did my hometown, Hattiesburg.
I love Hattiesburg.
Yeah, open it up.
That's about it right there.
You know, Wyatt, they call Hattiesburg the Hub City. And the reason for that is the location and the railroads. And it was a railroad town in those days, and you had Mobile and Gulfport, and you had New Orleans and Natchez and Jackson and Meridian, and all of those railroads came through Hattiesburg.
That's a busy area.
At one time, there were 30-something trains coming through Hattiesburg during the day.
I'm losing my train of thought.
And that's how it was formed. It's in the middle of the Pine Belt, and at one time in the early 20s, I think the international price for yellow pine timber was set right there on Main Street in Hattiesburg. So you're in the heart of the Pine Belt, in the Hub City, place I call home.
I love it. I went to the second grade. I didn't go to the second grade. I lived with my grandmother in Bolton Hall. She was a dorm mother, long story. But anyway, it had a big effect on me. That's probably why I paint. One of the reasons I paint as much as I paint. That's what I did when I was there.
I think most people don't know Wyatt Waters actually went to the second grade at the University of Southern Mississippi.
In a girls' dorm. That was the first.
I like this.
That was the first time I remember. I saw those girls and I thought, that's not my mother. I knew something was going on, you know.
You know, there's this common bond that you and I have that even before we met, we had similar interests. And one of those is downtown Hattiesburg, which is very unique. And as a kid, I grew up, I bought all my Beatles records at Pal's Music downtown, and, you know, ate burgers at Coney Island and things like that.
Yeah.
And I know you've done a lot of painting.
Oh yeah, I
downtown.
Painted, I painted Southbound now, which was the California Sandwich Shop
That's right.
originally. And of course, Coney Island, but also painted the Beverly Drive-In in its heyday. You know, I remember going as a kid, my grandmother's, the girls at the dormitory would take us, take my brother Jim to take me to watch movies there. It was really pretty cool.
So he was already hanging out with college girls at the drive-in in second grade. Oh, to be Wyatt. So, you know, agriculture is regional, and it has to do with the soil, with the climate, with the rain conditions, all of those things, the pH, the acidity of the soil, and all those kind of things. That's why sweet potatoes do so well in Vardaman. That's why Crystal Springs does so well with tomatoes. In Hattiesburg, Mississippi, it's all about blueberries. The temperature is right during the day. It doesn't get too cool at night, and blueberries and blackberries proliferate in that environment. And so if you name a crop for Hattiesburg, it's blueberries.
My mama said I was a picky eater. Oh my gosh. I could just graze on the ground and I'd be Fat as a pig here.
We're going to find blueberries. I knew exactly who to call, and that's Tim Goggins. And we're going to his farm. And, you know, they're just, and we were in peak season. Blueberries, it's been a little wet, but blueberries were everywhere. But then there was this big
Beast of a machine.
It was huge.
It was like the Batmobile, except it was a blueberry mobile.
Now this is a highly specialized machine, looks like. What do you call this machine?
It's a blueberry harvester.
You're not gonna be able to get out now. I know. Uh-oh, I'm in here. Now I'm in. There's no escaping the blueberry machine.
It was big, you know, and that's the thing. You know, I've driven through the Delta as you have for years and years, and you see these big combines and you see all this agricultural equipment, and you don't see that in my part of the world. It's pulpwood trucks, you know, we do timber. But we do have this blueberry picker thing that is pretty amazing. I've always thought about that. How does it know, you know, what it's picking? And
It's a machine that I had no idea. I thought people did that.
A really good picker will pick about, say, from 150 to 250 pounds of berries a day. That thing will pick, we can probably pick 20,000 pounds a day.
Oh, wow. This is pretty fascinating. Just
I'd love to watch this. Can we watch it work?
Yeah, yeah.
How many people will it hold?
It'll hold all we can put up there.
Can we get on it and ride
yeah,
it? Oh,
yeah.
we're about to ride the blueberry picker.
But it's really pretty efficient, and you get to eat the blueberries when we're up on top like that, which is pretty cool.
that was kind of a bonus.
After your article, you wouldn't believe the ladies that came out and wanted to know, we want Robert, the one that he said was favorite. I kid you not.
People who are successful have a passion about whatever they do. And Wyatt's passionate about art. I'm passionate about food.
You definitely, yeah.
You're
Some of
passionate
us
about
are
blueberries. Yeah.
growing
That's it.
food and eating.
Yeah, that's it.
We originally had an acre behind my house, and then we've just continually grown, and we're up to about 40 acres now.
40 acres.
Yeah.
How many bushes does that make? Or do you have?
Well, there's roughly 900 bushes per acre.
no,
No,
36,000.
about 36,000 plants.
36,000.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's a lot.
So, yeah,
That's great.
yeah, that's a lot of plants.
And then you do blackberry too, right?
Yeah, this is the blackberry patch out here.
What's a bigger challenge to grow, blackberries or blueberries? These are more work, aren't they?
There's more work in the blackberries, yeah.
This is really, oh, that's big.
It's like breakfast, man. This is where they eat breakfast. This is South Mississippi breakfast.
I heard that the blackberry phone was patterned after this because of the seed pods. The buttons on it look like blackberries. And kids don't know that who didn't pick blackberries.
Kids don't even know what a blackberry is now.
And you know what those are called? What? Drupelets. But the ones out in the woods weren't that big. No, it took a lot longer to pick a bucket back then.
But I gotta tell you, blackberry preserves are probably my favorite preserves.
Blackberry cobbler
Yes, blackberry
is my
cobbler.
favorite cobbler. You think about Mississippi and we get a bad shake in a lot of things, but almost any list you see of the healthiest foods that you can eat, you know, all these health magazines, all this stuff, blueberries are almost always in the top 5, the healthiest things you can grow, so that makes me proud.
Well, me too.
Oh, they're good.
And they're good and good for you.
That's right, there you go. Blueberry lemonade.
Okay,
Chin chin.
That's right. To a good blueberry harvest.
Oh, please.
Ah, that's good.
If we were left to run the blueberry picker thing, I don't think we'd be able to
No,
run
I'd
the
be on,
blueberry
Highway 49 with that
picker
thing going down
yeah.
the road.
I'd be using my fingers. So I think one of the cool things about doing this show that you and I have learned, we knew it, but maybe not to this extent, but family farmers. And it takes the entire family for a lot of these people. You've got a husband and wife working hard. You've got kids out in the field picking blueberries and blackberries, planting, trimming all year long, all of those things.
Weekends, more than 9 to 5.
It's a family affair, and I think that's cool.
We were there and we started talking. We came up with this idea to use it as a parade. It seems very natural because you're up there, you could almost be waving and throwing beads, and I think they're really going to do that for the parade, aren't they?
We have a killer Mardi Gras parade in Hattiesburg.
yeah.
It's called the Kairos Parade. 40,000 people come watch this parade. This year, I'm telling you, we're putting the blueberry picker in the parade.
It's made for it.
We got to figure out what to throw. What kind of, maybe it's all purple beads or
It's gotta
blue
be blue,
beads or
purple,
something like
yeah.
that. But are you riding?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm
It's a
I'm
deal?
going to be there.
All right, we're riding
Done
on the
deal.
parade. Done.
Well, in Hattiesburg, there's one thing, that seems to be reoccurring in Mississippi. Faith is a very big thing. And in your home church, Main Street Methodist, is just very agreeable to paint. It just worked out to make a good painting that day.
Yeah, and you did the sanctuary in our first book. And I'm going to tell you, the inside of that church, people, one of the most beautiful sanctuaries you're going to see in the state of Mississippi, Main Street Methodist Church. Some awesome stained glass, and it's just a beautiful place. I was honored that you painted the steeple this time.
Yes, it made a fun painting. And it represents the area, and hopefully it represents something for you too.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's get out and walk it.
Well, I don't know.
What do you think?
I
You like that?
looking straight up at this almost. This lamp here, that will work pretty good.
Don't you love the sound of a train in the distance?
Oh, yes. I'm set up right here. This is what I feel like. And there's no one place to start. To me, my philosophy is start with the thing that you got to start with first. We were out there, and it was really pretty cool. A lot of the people from the church came out, and Todd, the minister, Todd
Watson, yeah.
came out and said hi
Very
to us. He blessed us, so it was okay to be painting during church hours.
That's good.
We're always in the state of trying to figure out how to solve this problem called painting. When you paint on location like I do, the elements always come into play. That day that we were painting that, it was drizzling rain. It was not the kind of rain that would shut you down, but it was the kind of thing that you had to close up once in a while and keep on going other times. And it was during the church service that morning, so it was a religious experience. This time appreciated from the outside of the church. This is not ideal, but this will work.
It's been a wet year, so I guess you've dealt with that a lot in a lot of places.
Actually, we got under the tree, which blocked a lot of the rain.
You used natural resources.
Operating on faith that I can make a line that's crooked that feels straight. Yes, I was under the tree. I just hope lightning didn't strike. As with many things, you were looking for the spirit of it. Maybe especially a church, the spirit of it. That's closer, that's further away. These are things people read unconsciously. Maybe, if you put it down, okay, but maybe they don't. It's all faith that the viewer is gonna get this. Some are gonna get it, some aren't gonna get it, and it's always like that.
One of the cool things about Mississippi is our public art. And I think you think of the most iconic works of public art in this state, and I think Faulkner's statue by Beckwith up in Oxford, the mural you did in Clinton, Mississippi, which is a beautiful mural. Obviously Walter Anderson's Community Center in Hattiesburg. That work of art is in our public library.
It's a beautiful piece, too. Really
Bill
is great.
Baggett in the WPA style.
Circular.
Massive piece that he did on metal panels in the round in the rotunda of this library. It's just magnificent when you see this thing, and it tells the history of Hattiesburg. It starts with the Native Americans that were there, and then Captain Hardy, who founded Hattiesburg, was a railroad guy, and it goes through the military history. Hattiesburg has a huge military history because of Camp Shelby, but there was a train that went directly into downtown Hattiesburg for soldiers. It was also stationed in World War II. They've been mobilized lately. It's a big National Guard.
I think it's the largest military training camp.
Yeah, they're doing drone work there now, but Hattiesburg started with railroads and timber, and that's what the town was founded on. But today it's education and healthcare. And what you have 2 universities, a couple of junior colleges right in there. You have 2 hospitals, and a huge clinic, a big medical area. You've got one clinic there that it's the only orthopedic clinic of its type between Dallas and Atlanta. So it's a regional medical center, really, from all over. So education and medicine is part of the reason Hattiesburg is one of the best kept secrets in the state, because 2 recession-proof businesses.
I would add, it's a great restaurant town.
Hey, I agree with that. What a great addition you just made.
Speaking of eating, we had a progressive meal with Brett Favre that evening, and it was, we took it to 4 different restaurants, and that guy can really eat.
You need a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Man. You know, that's one thing I had never thought of. I had never thought of, you know, all of my restaurants are kind of grouped together, and they're all in the same kind of parking lot, really.
We proved they're within walking distance.
I'd never thought about doing a progressive dinner, and we had Brett, and I was trying to, do we go here, do we go there? Because really, I wasn't even sure if we go to my restaurants. I didn't want to seem too blatantly like we're trying to promote, but then when we talked about it, when you and I talked about it, it's like, well, if you don't go, then how does that look? Or if you do go, does it look this? So we finally went to the place you know.
I think it worked out really, really well. And it was really easy to obtain permission to film there.
Yeah, I know somebody.
It helps.
We got to have some Irv stories tonight.
Rated G.
Brett's a great quarterback. He's a philanthropist. He's got a good heart. He's a good dad. He's a good husband. But his wife, Deanna, started doing is it Iron Man or Iron Woman or Iron Person?
Iron Person.
Deanna started
Iron
doing,
Chef for you.
Yeah. Deanna started doing Iron Person. She kind of got him involved in that, and that's what he's doing now. So he's, you know, at his age is extremely fit, and yeah, he can put away some groceries.
Yeah.
But you know, I never really learned mechanics of swimming. I thought kicking was a big part of swimming. Well, I got the goggles, had the little cap. I started swimming. And Deanna's like 50 yards ahead of me. So I go a little bit further. Now I get kind of past the point of no return. It's either
Do or don't.
Either I get to somewhere or I die. I realize that. I'm cramping, my hamstrings are cramping.
That story he told us about the first time he went out with Deanna, and she'd been swimming a lot. And he started swimming and I think cramped up.
Because everything I'm doing, I'm fighting against myself. Now I'm panicking because, so I'm doing one of these, I'm treading water. Get to the buoy, put your arm around it. And I kid you not, I thought I honestly was going to drown. She was too far away to save me. She probably was thinking, what is he doing? When she got back, I was like, hey, you need to come get me. What are you talking about? I said, I'm going to drown. I'm standing on the stump.
She actually had to, you know, kind of do the, you know, the swim thing on him and bring him back in, and people were up on the shore when they came in, and I think it hurt his pride a little bit.
And I was like, yeah, she's taking the safety course.
The one thing I know is that Brett loves those Chargrilled Oysters we do at Crest City Grill, so we started there.
Oh, I loved them too.
Chargrilled Oysters are great. They're in the book. You know, it's one of those classic, actually the recipe comes from New Orleans, but being that close to the Gulf Coast, we do a version of that there. And he wanted more. But you know what he started talking about, if you remember what he started talking about during Chargrilled Oysters, is how much he loved fried shrimp.
Yeah.
And I had us going to the Purple Parrot for the second course, but we didn't have fried shrimp on the thing.
You set that up at that time.
So we did that blackened fish with mock choux that has corn and our homemade andouille and those type things, or andouille as they say in Cajun land. But we got some fried shrimp for Brett, and he actually ate both.
You want shrimp?
Yeah, I do.
You ate some of those fried shrimp.
I did too, yeah.
I did too.
Fried shrimp. When I was a kid, that was my go-to.
You know, we had a nice dinner in the Parrot. I think there was a couple celebrating an anniversary over to the left who might not have been so happy. We got a little loud, I think, and the lights might have been a little bright. So
It was.
whoever you are, we're sorry we ruined your anniversary dinner. Really are.
Y'all ready to do a little Italian?
So after that, went on a quick walk to Tabella. The plan was to eat pizza at Tabella, and we ate pizza, but Brett opted for gluten-free pasta.
Which you were very sensitive to.
He had that, and then after, you and I got mobbed, and everybody wanted our autograph, and they wanted pictures with us, and Brett just had to kind of stand by and, watch as we got all the glory.
That happens to Wyatt and me all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people all the time, because I get that question, like, have people leave you alone in Hattiesburg? You know where to go. Many years ago, I was in Crescent City.
Yeah.
I go in the restroom, and this guy walks in, looks up, and he's like, Brett Favre? I said, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing in Hattiesburg? Now, this guy, come to find out, was from Hattiesburg.
Right.
I said, I live here. And he goes, oh, I said, been living here.
You don't get them wanting to shake your hand in the bathroom.
Yeah, fist bump.
So we finished up with Ed's Burger Joint outrageous milkshakes.
And that's a meal in itself.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
really,
some, you know.
It really is, and you know, it's dessert times 10.
You got three choices here. Straw, spoon, or shovel.
Brett Favre rose to the occasion and just put me to shame. Yeah, and actually there were more out-of-town kids that were in town for like a baseball tournament or something like that. And Brett, we need to put him on commission because he was shaming all those kids. You need to order a shake. You need to order a shake.
That's an
And they
endorsement.
did.
That's a good endorsement.
We're gonna buy him one.
There you go.
You gonna get a shake today?
Well, at first he told me no. And then I said, what if we buy? He goes, no, I'd love to have one.
Here's Brett Favre, a guy, South Mississippi guy, went to University of Southern Mississippi. He holds the record for number of consecutive starts in the NFL by a quarterback. He's been an MVP, he's won a Super Bowl. Just one of the top, if not the top quarterback of all time. You know, when you look at it, that whole evening was kind of Mississippi encapsulated. It was, you had sports, you had art, you had food.
We were all just eating though.
Yeah, and it was great storytelling going on, and that's the thing about Mississippi is when people get together, then they share a meal and they start telling stories, and that was just a Mississippi night. It really was.
It was. It shows you how food can be that thing that gets you together. A whole lot of different people get together to eat.
You know, food is a common bond. It's one of those, it's biblical, man. You think about it. Last Supper, loaves and fishes. You know, food is that thing that winds through the Bible, through our lives. You know, I think if you think back on the most important times in your life and your best memories, somehow food was involved, whether it was, in my instance, at my grandmother's table Sunday after lunch. And that's when I talk a lot about the 5 F's, you know, faith, family, friends, food, and fun. And I spent a lot of my early days looking for fun in a lot of the wrong places. But what I didn't know is it was there all the time. Ultimately, you know, I think I'm just proud we could do an episode in my hometown. Been in Hattiesburg all my life, love that place. Graduated from Southern Miss, you know, opened my first place there, and it's the place I call home. It's where my greatest memories are, and I love that place.
At the end of all this, we just got a huge taste of Hattiesburg. It was a great, great time.
You know, more than any other episode, I mean, it's just occurring to me right this second that more than any other episode we've done, maybe, this is the one that encompassed the 5 F's with faith, family, friends, food, and fun. You did the painting of the church.
Yep. The church was fun.
You know, family was all around, friends were there, way too much food.
Oh my gosh.
And I know I speak on behalf of you. We had fun.
Heck yeah.
Many of the paintings seen on today's program are featured in the A Mississippi Palate Cookbook. This beautiful volume also includes Mississippi heritage recipes. A Mississippi Palate Cookbook. Palate to Palate with Robert St. John and Wyatt Waters is made possible by a generous contribution from the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation. Additional funding is provided by this and other public television stations and from viewers like you. Thank you.